All right. Awesome. All right. So, welcome to another episode of the Scripting Den podcast. Today, I have a very special guest with us. He is a technical author, he's a YouTuber, and he is the founder of CryoWiz. And I'm going to ask you if I actually pronounce it right. But please, everyone, here is Tapas Adhikary. Please, Tapas, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell our audience a little bit more about you and the company, which I think we're going to be talking a little bit about.
Sure. First of all, thanks a lot for inviting me. And I know you for a while now, and it's always great connecting with you.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Tapas. I'm basically from India, stay in Bangalore. And by profession, been a software developer for a long time, I guess, almost for 18 years.
Wow.
And along with that, I also love writing. So I keep writing on my blog, Pre-Code Camp, and various other publications. I like teaching, so I started my YouTube channel under the name Tapascript, and I'm teaching on the channel Tapascript in English, and also my native language is Bangla. I have another channel where I teach things in Bangla as well. So those two channels, and very recently, I would say like about 11 months back, I started my own company, and you did it right. You rightly pronounced the name. It's called CryoWiz. Yeah. So we started CryoWiz Technologies about 11 months back. Me and my co-founder, they started together. And we are in a roller coaster ride since then. I mean, I have lots to probably talk about it, about the company and all other stuff.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's actually the whole point of why we're doing this interview. I wanted to, honestly, I just wanted to have you on the show anyways. But when you said that you had the whole startup journey, and that's something very interesting for developers to know the stories about, because we're always dreaming about having our own company and doing it ourselves and not having a boss. But it's not as easy as one might think. So whenever I get a chance to talk to someone who actually has gone through the process and successfully so, and managed to actually get the company and clients and been living out of it, that's always something that I want to hear about. So tell us a little bit about CryoWiz. What's the company about? What made you create it, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Yeah, so CryoWiz is, at this point of time, it's a software service firm. That's how it is. The specialty of the services that I started providing with my co-founder is on the UI and UX side. So my co-founder, he is a kind of UX guru. I kind of span across multiple layers of it, UI, full stack, and things like that. And when we got together, we felt like if we come together, probably we create a very solid and strong bond where we can serve a lot of companies who are aiming to have great UX in a much better way. That's how this thought started. And that's when we thought, okay, let's form a company. And we were hunting for a name, actually, what name to give. And this CryoWiz happened. It's basically, if you allow me to how that name came,
sure.
It's called CryoWiz. So Cryo is like creation in Latin. And Wiz is for the wisdom. So it's about the creating wisdom. Maybe not for us at this point of time, but for many of the customers. We started with this, and we felt along the line is like, yeah, we are actually utilizing our great strength, which is like UI development. Be it any technology in the UI, and also plugging it in the proper architecture at the back end, and then bringing is the right UX into picture. So when you talk about UX, it's not just the screen. It's basically the entire user journey, end to end, defining the journey, taking the customer through, make them realize this is what's going to work for them, and then build that into the product or the things that they are looking for. So that's what we have been focusing on for last 10-11 months in CryoWiz.
Nice. And is it just the two of you, or do you work with other people as well?
No, so I don't work with anybody else at this point of time. So I work for a firm for quite a long time, almost for 16 years in a company, which is, I find, very rare, among all my peers. But the company was really, really awesome to work with. And then I was thinking about kind of doing something of myself. My passion has always been in teaching people, doing content creation, do community, open source, and all these things. That's why I was involved for a long time. Then I was thinking, okay, while I'm doing that, probably my whole attention is not towards the company that I'm working with, and I'm not really doing that justice. So I want to go to a path where I will be able to do things of my own. At the same time, I can leverage some time for my passion as well. Right. So I can live my passion as well. So that was another kick area, I would say, that pushed me towards a company, like doing something of my own. So I'm completely out of any other company work doing my stuff.
That's fantastic. And I guess that whole thing of saying, being the owner of your own time, let's put it that way, it's very tempting. I've thought about it myself, but I tried it a couple of times. I never got that far. So it's really incredible what you're doing now. So, but my question was more in the sense of, is it just you and your partner doing all the work, or do you have other people as well working with you?
No. So we definitely cannot do all the work. So initially we were focusing more on the UI and UX side, but gradually figured out like we can span across. It means that anything that you're bringing in as a requirement, we can actually do it. So right now we are working on the products which are in the AI side of it, right? And that's kind of started as a new buzz for us, learning AI, doing the stuff. Yeah. So we had to expand. That's when it started expanding the team. We recruited people. So right now, myself, my co-founders, and then we have 5 more people working with us. Wow. So we are like 7 members team, and we are kind of doing good. We're gelling well. There are people from probably all possible backgrounds and all possible experiences. Some of them came through the social media that, you know that I'm quite active on Twitch or LinkedIn, those places. So I kind of picked up like, okay, this person is doing great. Let's talk and, get that person in. And that's how it got started. So it's going great so far.
That's fantastic. I mean, 5 people already in the team with less than a year. I mean, you guys are growing fast. That's amazing. And we're going to be talking about that. And also on what you said about like sharing the time with your passion and with your work and so on. But first, I want to know, so like you said, you've been working for the same company, I'm assuming as a developer, for 16 years, which is mind-blowing to me, that you stay in the same place for so long. What was it like from your own dev perspective to like transition to like business owners, put it that way? Was it, other than what you wanted, but was it an easy change, or do you have to adjust to doing everything differently now?
Yeah, so I think it was like pre-COVID area, like around 2018, 17, when this thought came in my mind, like I should go out and start doing something of myself. The first thing that came in my mind, I want to be a full-time YouTuber. Like I'll leave everything and I'll do just YouTube stuff.
I can see that, yes.
Yeah. Then I felt like, okay, probably that's not going to give me the earning if I'm leaving everything, because I have a family to feed.
Yeah.
So I have to do something else. And then the thought of creating a solid finance background came into mind. Like I have to create my finance first. I have to make it very solid so that I can now step on it and move forward, right? So that's what the plan. So that's when I started putting, my money in a proper place, because I was very much cautious about like how to do the expenses and what is the right way of putting the fund and growing the fund. So that if I take around 3 to 4 years time, my initial thought was 2 years, but then COVID came. It pushed everything. So somehow I got like 4 years. So it's like 4 years, you put everything, put a lot of money and put the fund, make the thing solid, so that once you jump in to something else and jump out of your stability, you really don't worry about that money factor, because that's the biggest factor. Once you don't have that finance cleared or finance very much solid, you will always think about what will happen if this thing fail, right? True. And once you have that thing somewhat taken care, then you won't think about at least the money. You will think about the growth, career, technology. All these things will be in your mind to do. So that's what my plan was. Almost for like 3-4 years, I was constantly thinking, saving the money, doing the finance stuff. And then the time came like 2023, I guess around March time or January time. I felt this is the right time because whole world is coming on their feet and they're actually started moving from this COVID and all this stuff. Let me also move along with it. It's enough. So I'll also start doing my own stuff. So I came out, but I didn't start my company immediately. My thought was still being an YouTuber, like
Right.
full-time YouTuber. So I put more focus on YouTube. I joined a company in between for 3 to 4 months as a content head. I was doing a lot of content stuff, like how the content thing works and what kind of influences it can bring for the developer economy and beyond. So I learned that part. Then after that, I thought, okay, fine. I have some insights. I know like how people approach to customer being in that particular company. And I also had few health issues in that point in time. So I needed a break. So I took a minor break, and that's when my co-founder and myself clicked together. And we thought, okay, it's time. Let's start CreoBiz. So purchase the domain and get started.
That's incredible. And did you have the first client already like had conversation with before going live, or was it just let's do this and somehow find the customers later?
Not exactly. I mean, we had some client, actually our first client in our hand. And that time we didn't thought that it will be a company which will be serving that client. It was more about, I know React, I know Next.js, he knows Figma, he knows design.
Right.
So let's get together and do something for this guy. Probably we'll get some bucks and that's it. Yeah. But while doing that, we figured out if we can do for him, we can do for 100 other people. So let's do for him, let's gain some confidence and let's put it more professionally under some banners so that people know us by a company as well. And that's when the company got kicked off. So first customer was already there. But after company, first customer came little later. This customer was previously booked.
Right. Okay, so you right. So it was like a beta version of the company.
Yes, beta version of the company.
You figure out you could actually do it, and then that's a very smart way to do it. Also with the savings and everything, it's a very very methodic way of doing it, which is I think that the right way. If you can do it that way, I think that you nailed it when you said that one of the major problems is that if you don't have that savings account, that safety net, you're always going to be stressing out about if it's not working, if it's not going to do well, you're just going to not.
Yeah, every time you will feel that you are taking risk. I mean, see, of course, you have your own stuff, so you have to take risk probably every time, but you won't be cautious about every step. Like, oh, is it a step I need to take or I need to kind of push back because I don't know what is going to happen. So the financial stability, I think, is something that everyone should think about before jumping into a decision like this. But I'm not saying that, if people are big risk taker and they want to just jump in, want to get their stuff done, they should not do it. There are people who actually doing this. But for me, the philosophy is a bit different. Maybe it's because I'm more matured in terms of age. I'm not in 20s when I did it. I was in late 30s when I started it. So my maturity and my thought process was different that time.
Absolutely. But also with the type of company that you're creating, I think that there is more risk as well, because it's not like you're creating some sort of SaaS online that, you can do it in your free time. You actually have to quit your job and focus on this because you have to meet clients, work with the project. It's a lot of time. It's a big investment. So it's definitely...
Also when you have employees, it's a different thing I want to share. Yeah. Once you're working somewhere and you are an employee, it's a different ball game than you are an employer and you have employee under you. And it's not only one, you have 5. Yeah. So you have to understand how HR function works. You have to understand how finance work. You have to be a manager of them. You have to be a friend of them. You have to be a technical guide of them. Yeah. You have to be everything of them. So that's a different ballgame in a company like this.
Absolutely. And you're learning how to do all of that in record time because you're moving so fast. So that's amazing. So, okay. So those are the challenges, but as a developer, what was the easiest part? The one that you said, finally, okay, now I get to do this.
I think easiest part was to believe that I can do this, especially the technical part, and also about the kind of network and reaching out to people. That thing happened with me, over the period of time in social media. So I felt like I have some of those ability where I can reach out to people, I can talk, and at the same time, there is nothing to fake, because if I'm telling something that I can do, I have enough proof at my back,
Right.
my work, my credibility, which can say that I can do it. So there, it is very, very clear. So these two things made things probably easy for me to go up, stand up, and go and talk. That confidence, I think that was the easiest part. And what I have seen in many of my friends and peers is like, that is the part that actually blocked them, even though they are technically good. But you have to stand and you have to approach. If you don't approach, work is not going to come to you. That work is not going to work towards you. You have to work towards it. So this is what I felt is like made things more easy for me. When I started doing this, things started happening. And other thing was is like probably getting proper founders is like co-founders is like, it's a match, I would say.
Yeah.
Where you are thinking about doing a service, and the service is like very holistic. I mean, if you think about any software product, there are basically 3 points. You can join them and create a triangle. You have UX, you have your some services where you know how to put the services architecturally, and then you have to have the UI, the interfaces, right? So if we can put all these dots connected some way as a company, I think we are going to achieve more. I think that is another part that clicked for us when we started Touchwood. I know it goes for long term, and we work in this fashion as well. Yeah.
Nice. And how did you meet your creator, by the way? Your founder. Was it you met you knew each other before getting
Yes.
this, or yes? Right.
Yeah. We worked together for 10 years in a
Okay.
company. So
Okay. So you already knew how to interact, how to do all of this together. That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's fantastic. So you said some very interesting things before. You said that essentially, if I were to like summarize it, the content and all the work that you've been doing in social media and YouTube and so on kind of help you develop your soft skills.
Yes.
In a way, and that in turn help you approach clients and get customers and so on. So and that's definitely, we all know that developers are known for the lack of social skills and soft skills in general. So what would you say, or rather, would you recommend other developers who are right now just focusing on their code and the technical side of their work? Would you recommend them to go the way you did, like create a YouTube channel, start sharing content, or start being active on social media if you don't have an account? Or what would you recommend to them so that they can also develop that aspect of their the skills, the soft skills that we can't really learn from a tutorial?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I'll tell you probably my philosophy is like, for me as a developer, if I am doing anything for another developer, I never feel it's a waste, even if there is nobody looking into it. Because there were times when I used to write articles, there was never a single likes for that. It happens with everyone.
Yes.
So, but I had a great feeling that I am probably doing something for a developer. If a single person is reading through it, understanding and getting the things, my job is done. So that's my philosophy. So this philosophy actually kicked me with many ways. The art, the blog, writing for Free Code Camp, then getting a lot of paid article gigs.
Yeah.
And we did all of this. Then the YouTube stuff. YouTube stuff also is like, whatever the length I'm able to do today, I think is happening good. I'm happy with that, content with that. Now, what I can suggest for every developer is like, see, if you are developing something by sitting in the corner of a room, nobody is noticing you, it's probably going to be limited to only you. And if you are doing this, it's your time that you step up and you try to share with others. It has a lot of benefits, it's a mutual benefit. Once you share the things with others, it's not one-way traffic. You also get to learn something in return, because you will see slowly people are interacting. Either you learn soft skill of handling people In social media, being in social media, handling people is one of the skill I learned. I mastered it. Like, how do you handle this negativity? How do you identify what is a constructive feedback versus a negative feedback? I think I never used to understand that before. I understand that. You got to understand, because once you then come to a business and then you meet a lot of different kind of people, customer, vendors, and they are from the different background altogether. You cannot expect everybody will be so sophisticated, so goody and coming talking to you very positive vibe. There are people, you have to handle them in a different way, and you won't know if you're just sitting in that corner and doing things in silos. So you have to go out, you have to put yourself forward. In turns, you see like what you get, how are you being accepted or not accepted, and then you work towards it to become an accepted person some way, so that people at least looking at the thing that you are doing and people are knowing you like what you're doing for. And that's how you grow. And once this growth happen, it has a lot of good impact, I would say. One thing is like somehow you build the credibility. This is what I think it worked best for me. You wouldn't believe that we got a customer through my YouTube channel.
I was going to ask about that. Okay.
Yes, because the person know that I can teach React, and they had a kind of React development stuff, and they wanted me to do this development. And then I told that by this time I already have a company, I don't do freelancing anymore.
Right.
Give it to the company. And it came to the company. And so that is great, right? Probably that customer would not have come to me ever if I was not doing that, right? Another great example, I used to write for a publication, another company, and we built a product for them. We built a product for them. It's a very small product, but we built. You made contacts.
Yeah.
And this is how the things happen. And these are not the things that one should be boasting about, but it is a thing that you should be proud of.
Yeah.
And this is not easy. That's what I want to kind of call out. Nobody should think that this is easy. Okay, this person getting started and he is getting 2-3 clients immediately. It is not easy.
Yeah.
The task to get those clients has started 5-6 years back. That's where the hard work started. And the hard work is seeing some light today. And the hard work that we are putting right now may be seeing some other light after 5 years. So as a developer, please don't be in silos. Please be in a network. Be in the network of right people, like-minded people. Try to understand like how things works outside. Try to talk to people. I always encourage people like at least once, either it's offline or online, go and try to give some talk. Because it's very important as a developer that you be in that particular area as well. You be in that particular zone as well. For many of us like who are introvert like me, it's very, very difficult for me to kind of step up, go on stage and do some talk or do it on the YouTube and things like that. I know that probably there are English problem. There are things like the stammering will come. All these things are very, very natural and normal thing in today's life.
Yeah.
You see like there are a lot of like people from the theater and the movies. They put makeup and they go for the show. We are developer. Our best makeup is our knowledge, our strength. As long as we have that, we can go anywhere and do our stuff. So be with that philosophy and do. That will be my thing to all the developers listening to me. Go out and do your stuff. You will get things in return, if not immediately, in the long run.
Absolutely. Agree on the fact that, you're absolutely right in the fact that, even though it looks like you guys are moving so fast and growing so fast, it's true. I mean, part of that success is because you've been thinking about it and you've been working towards creating this background of knowledge and a presence online as well. I was going to ask you if your online presence had any effect on your business. Clearly it has. Yes. It's giving you credibility and the fact that as well that it's not just that the fact that you have a YouTube channel or articles written, but the fact that you have an online presence that has engagement, essentially meaning other developers are reacting to your work, and so that's also like a social proof, saying if a company is looking for someone to develop their product, they see you and they see, oh, okay, this guy is not only teaching React, he's getting people engaged in their in his content, and that shows that what you're teaching actually makes sense. It's relatable to people. So that's a huge accomplishment. Clearly, it's not something that you did last week. It's something that you've been working on for years. So that's also key for people listening, that they should start but they should also not expect an immediate return on that investment. It should, it's something that you do for years before you start seeing that return. And maybe the return doesn't come in the form of people reaching out and giving you money or giving you a job, but it also can be in the form of you being more articulate when you speak and having better, a better way to or improve soft skills essentially without you even noticing that. So yeah, absolutely, 100% agree with you on that regard. Now, how are you doing? So a little bit back, let me back up a little bit. So when you have your own company, when you have your own, you own the business and you have employees and you have all these clients, I'm assuming you have a lot of work. So how are you managing your work as a business owner with your work as a YouTube? Because you're still doing it.
Yeah.
So
and I'll be doing it.
So how are you able to continue teaching programming and the thing that you love while also doing this other big thing that you also love? Are you able to manage it, or are you crumbling under the pressure?
Okay, so yeah, I want to do a lot more things, but the time is pretty limited. We all know we have only 24 hours, but we have to make use of it. And of course, health is another thing, because all of us are growing old every day. We also need to take care of our health and all of that stuff. Now, keeping all this thing in mind, for me, the prioritization plays a big role. So if I didn't have this company, if it was only YouTube, you would have seen me creating 6 videos in a week. 3 for my Bangla channel, 3 for my English channel. Right now, I'm doing only 2. So the 4 that I'm cutting down, and the 4 I'm cutting down, that saves me a lot of time, because it's not only just about making video. You have also got to edit them, publish them, all this kind of background. You know this, how much it takes.
Yeah.
And I don't have any employees as in my editor and things like that. I'm the single man army for that YouTube standpoint. So I do the YouTube as a second priority at this point of time. My first priority is CreoVis. So after doing CreoVis work, whatever the time I have, my second most priority is YouTube. And then in that, if I can do 1 video in a week, I do 1 video. If there are 2 videos in a week, I do 2 videos. I know there are a lot of comments come on my channel saying that why only 1 video? Why you not making? You will grow. I know, like, I'll grow, but I'll grow in hospital. So if I'm going to do that. So I didn't want to kind of do too much rush. Whenever there is a lean period, I don't like to waste time. So in a way, like not much movies or all these things I've just cut down, a lot. But not like that. I'm not social or not a family person. I go out with my family. I have my daughter, wife, so I enjoy with them. But the thing is, like, unwanted and the waste part of your time, right? Which you don't realize is a waste part. So I started realizing that waste part and how to use that to do something more productive. And that goes into some of these things, the YouTube stuff. The third priority is about writing, which is not happening clearly. In last 2.5 months, I have written only 1 article. So that shows like how busy I am in other part of the day. So this is how I have been managing. It is hard. It is definitely hard, but you have to really prioritize your day. You have to prioritize your work. And you have to go by that priority. You cannot really have everything as a high priority and execute.
So on priority, on the fact on the side of prioritization as well, I think you're right on that. On being smart about how you use your time. Developers, maybe they don't have their own company, but there are a lot of developers struggling on their, working on their own side projects, for example, or thinking about, I need to create side projects because I need to practice more and I need to improve or whatever, but I don't have time. How do I do it? It's about, being smart. It's not about burning down clearly. You can't do everything. You have to cut down things, like you said, that little waste time that you don't really spend doing anything productive, it might be a good idea to waste it. In my opinion, sometimes you just have to give in and say, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna watch TV, because your brain sometimes it just needs to refresh. It needs to be unproductive for a while. But that's
I go for drive. I go for drive. Those situations.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Exactly. So everyone needs some sort of outlet where you're just not being productive. You're just, wasting time, but that's fine. It just make sure that that's not most of your time.
Yeah.
Now, there's also another interesting aspect of a developer turning business owner, especially when they have a team, and that is the leadership part, right? I mean, as developers, it doesn't really mean we're automatically good leaders. We usually have, the program manager, product owner. There are a lot of names for some sort of leader. And we are easily following whatever task is assigned to us. The moment where we turn into a tech lead or a tech manager or whatever title, it's a big change. So the question here is, were you already in your company in some sort of leadership position and then transition to this, or did you just when full, jumped every intermediate step from being a developer following orders to business owner leading 5 people and so on?
Oh no, I think I would have had a horrible experience in that case. No, it was not the case. I was in a company for quite a long time to grow in ladder. So I joined as a junior most engineer over there, developer, and then I grew to be a UI lead and then become an engineering manager, technical manager, senior manager. So I was leading the team of UI UX folks. So I already had a knack of that, and I know like how to deal with the developers. I know how to deal with people, how to do product, how to deal with product manager, how to deal with customers. So I had like good amount of experience, close to like 7 to 9 years of experience doing that. So somehow that experience definitely plays a role, but that experience was contained within a company. So it's like within the team or maximum a department, that's where you were spanning across.
Yeah.
But this itself is going to teach you a lot of stuff because you are meeting people from different geography. You're meeting people from different kind of background, and have to get your work done. So you have a bad day, you have a good day, you have a day when you feel like winner, a loser. So all this feeling I had in the company. Now, those feelings are quite usual to me. So when I start getting it in the QOs, I feel it's just like another normal day. I have to just, get out of it. Next day will be another day. So yeah, that helped me in my leadership and probably is helping me at this point of time as well.
Absolutely. And that's another, it goes back to the point of this is not just overnight success. This is just been something that's been cooking for years.
Yes.
But yeah, so definitely plays a big part there. All right. So last question on my side is, would you advise other developers to go through what you did to become or to go independent, to create their own company, to quit their jobs essentially and do whatever they feel like, or not whatever they feel like, but rather like create something on their own and live off of that?
Okay, I don't want anybody to quit their job after this interview.
That was a tricky question. I know.
Yeah, but what I feel like, each of us are different, unique in our nature. So each of our dream, passion, everything is unique in that way. And everybody should have that right in their life. Life is once, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So in that life, to live that passion, they should get that opportunity. Now, some people get the opportunity by someone else. Some people create that opportunity. So if you're lucky enough to get that opportunity by someone else, you're lucky enough, go with it. Otherwise, if you think that you are so strong to follow your passion, do something of your own, you have to create that opportunity. Again, to come back to the same point, this opportunity was not created in a day. It was created in several years of hard work. Yeah. So if you are passionate enough to put that amount of will into it, that amount of hard work into it, thought process, your financial stability, your family's financial stability, all these things, after that you want to chase your passion, I think nobody should even question you. And if somebody question you, you have all the data point to answer them quite validly, so that they will keep their mouth shut. It happened with me. I mean, you're not all the family members will be understanding like what you're going to do. Oh, man, you are going to be a director, next you're leaving the company and you're joining you're doing something else. But you have to give them the answer with a data point, that what you have at the back and what is the future that you are seeing. And if they're able to see along with you, it's great. You are having another, probably a person who is supporting you, and you go along with it. So my suggestion would be is that, like, if you are able to put that hard work, you're able to put that kind of plan, and able to see that future some way, that okay, I have the technical strength, this is my strength, and this is what is required to make it work. Let me go towards it. That's the kick. I think everybody will understand. So that kick, if it comes, is yes, please go for it. But don't leave your job today thinking that you will be opening a company tomorrow, and day after tomorrow you'll be successful. That will be foolishness.
Very nice, very good advice. All right, Tapas, thank you so much. It's been really interesting to know the journey, to know the story, and to see how you managed to do it. That's incredible.
There is one point I just wanted to, I forgot, if you allow me to just talk. So when we started this company, we were thinking about one factor. Is like, so I did a great amount of mentorship in between. It's like meeting some of the folks like who are looking for some guidance. It's not technical mentorship as such, but it is about telling somebody right path. So it's like, before learning React, learn JavaScript correctly.
Right.
So in your life also, you probably need to do something before you do something else. So we used to do this mentorship. I used to do that mentorship. So when we started CreoViz, one thing that we thought is like, why don't we create a branch itself in the company where we keep this mentorship very active?
Okay.
And what we thought is like, we will mix it with the internship. So we'll call it as inter-mentorship, which will run for, say, kind of catchy name. It will run for, say, 3 months, and you apply. We go through your profile, then we'll bring you in, and per quarter we want to do 2 inter-mentorship candidate. And what we give to them, we give to them all possible exposure to do things technically and those soft skill wise. So they get a mentor, they work on the real life project that we do, and they get to learn a lot of stuff. Otherwise it's just watching, YouTube video. Though as a creator, I'm saying watching video doesn't help. You have to practice. So you get all these things. So that is another thing that we have started, and 3 inter-mentorship passed. They are doing well outside. One of them we consumed and we hired. So this is another thing that I'm trying out. Hopefully that this will create some really tangible momentum in next couple of years. We'll probably finding very good engineers, or make very good engineers who will be doing wonders.
Nice. That's a very interesting program, and not just letting them in to try and see what the tech side is, but also like mentor them and expose them, like I said, to everything related to the job and everything else other than tech, so that they can either stay with you or just go out and be successful.
Yep.
That's very nice. And you're currently open to people reaching out to you. Is that something that has to be local or can be remote as well?
No. We are a remote company, so it's absolutely from anywhere. Is there in our website, in the career page, that inter-mentorship section is there. They can apply, and we look into it really religiously, each of the submissions. And the questions are in a way that we can actually do the first round of interview, reading the answers, and then we qualify. We talk to the candidates and take them in.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll make sure to add the link to in the show notes so that people can find you.
Sure.
That's fantastic. All right. Great. Any other last comments or ideas or messages that you want to leave?
No, I think we discussed. I just spoke my heart out, I guess, and it was really nice. And if you invite me again, I'll come here and again have a chat with you in future. Maybe on some other topic.
Yeah, maybe something else. But I'm sure we have a lot of things to talk about. So amazing, Tapas. Thank you again for coming in, for agreeing, for lending your time and sharing your story. Just share with our audience where they can find you, how they can find you, and I'll make sure to add all those links in the notes.
Yeah, sure. I'll share the links with you. I'm there on Twitter, LinkedIn, and you can find me there.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's it. And folks, thank you for listening. And Tapas, thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Everyone else, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
And that was it for this episode of the Scripting Them podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Remember that you can find me online on Twitter at TheDeepMat123. And you can also find the podcast YouTube channel just searching for the scripting then on YouTube. Thank you again, and catch you on the next one.